Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of New Lunar Radio. I'm your host, Jay Brone.
And I am here, Daylight Dargo.
You are our Daylight Darko or the
I am
Daylight
here.
Darko? You're here.
I am both.
You're both?
I am Daylight Dargo type RT. R and the...
Nice.
Yes.
Yes. So we're coming to you today to bring you recaps of the latest two episodes of the show and a handful of, less than a half handful of pieces of news.
I'd estimate it to be about 2 fingers worth.
Yeah, just like
Maybe.
I like my shots.
Index finger and thumb and just hold it all in between there.
Sure.
Yes.
So we can just get started with the recaps, I guess. Let's go.
Oh no.
So we open on a train heading into Rainbow Falls. Oh, by the way, this is for the episode called Tradia.
That's for the episode called Extreme Hangar Stratego.
We open on the train heading into Rainbow Falls Traders Exchange with Pinkie Pie being very happy to be there.
Why is she happy to be there?
Well, turns out that everyone is there to accompany Twilight on a royal princess duty.
What?
We don't know what the duty is just yet, but turns out everyone at the fair is waiting there for her to show up, and they're pretty excited to see her.
Mm-hmm.
We also then find out that the Traders Exchange is a great place to get anything you want, provided you have something to trade for it. So it's just like a big, flea market, except instead of paying money for things, you're just trading things.
So it's kind of like a swap meet.
Yeah, swap meet, sure. So Spike then goes and almost drops a mint condition comic in the dirt, but Twi saves it. He then references that would have been really bad because you can only trade a mint comic for another mint comic, because we all know how that works with comic books.
Mm-hmm.
Twilight is still a bit flustered over all the fuss of her being there, but then she lays down the rules, and it's as long as both ponies think the trade is fair, then it's all good. And she is there to settle disputes, which there have never been any.
So she's just there to do nothing.
Pretty much.
Cool.
So then a full filly comes up and asks her for her autograph. And Rainbow Dash remarks that there's someone there with a signed first edition of Daring Do and the Quest for the Sapphire Statue. The very first Daring Do book that we heard about.
Mm-hmm.
And Rainbow Dash, of course, needs it. She needs it. It's the last first edition that she needs for her one-of-a-kind collection that includes all of the first editions of the Daring Do books.
Ooh.
Hardback. Original first edition, first release. Yeah.
Sounds like my dad and Clive Cluster books. Except he just sticks with only needs hardback, and the only one he doesn't have is Iceberg.
Nice. Fluttershy, of course, offers to help Rainbow Dash, and Rainbow Dash, for once, takes her up on this offer.
Mm-hmm.
Rarity then pairs off with Applejack to a trip to the vintage stalls, because Rarity says vintage stuff is in. They decide to pool their trade stashes so they'll be guaranteed to get whatever they want. And then Twilight is setting up her stands with her books that she wants to trade, and Pinkie sticks around to help her out. Rainbow Dash and Fluttershy then show up at the stall with the Daring Do book, and she tries to trade her most valuable possession for the book. And it turns out to be her lucky horseshoe. And of course the owner of the book says, nah, she doesn't want it. But turns out that the book owner would like something that's at the trading bonanza, and that is an Orthros from the next stall over. Fluttershy thinks the vicious two-headed dog is cute.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Right, Fluttershy, animals, all that stuff. So they head over to get the Orthros. Then we go back over to Rarity and Applejack. They both find something that they wanted, but it turns out it's going to require all of their stuff. Conflict arises on who should be able to get the item that they want. AJ takes Rarity to show her the item that she wants, and it turns out it's a vintage pie tin. It cooks pies 5 seconds faster. Rarity then shows off her item. It's a one-of-a-kind brooch. that she already has. This one's just a little bit older, though. AJ tries to prove that she wouldn't be able to tell the difference with a shell-style game. She switches them all around, and AJ calls her bluff, but AJ can't tell the difference either, because they're literally both the same.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting note.
Rarity right there could have just switched it and be done with the whole matter.
She could have. Rarity also takes the one that she says is the older one. Or no, she doesn't actually. She takes the one that is not the older one and leaves the older one there. I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least, I mean, obviously both of them are exactly the same, so it wouldn't have mattered. But we move back over to Rainbow Dash and Fluttershy. Fluttershy instantly bonds with the Orthros, and it becomes no longer vicious. At least while she's around. They find out that the Orthros owner doesn't want the horseshoe either, but he does need a new lamp since the Orthros just broke it. So they head off to the Discord-shaped lamp stand. The owner of the stand, who's a pony in a wheelchair, by the way, doesn't want the horseshoe either. He wants an antique chicken statue. Turns out the antique chicken statue trader wants a crystal chalice.
I've played this game before.
Did you play it in WoW?
No. But I did play it in RuneScape.
Finally, the crystal chalice trader does want the horseshoe. Wow. Finally, somebody wants what they actually have. So she hands over the chalice after they hand over the horseshoe. And when Rainbow Dash goes to touch it, it breaks. Cut back over to the book stand where Twy is just about to trade all of her books for a broken pen. But Pinky talks her out of it. Turns out that the rules of the exchange are that the trade is only fair if both ponies end up with something they really want. And Twy didn't want the pen, so it would have broken the rules. Pinky then scares the dickens out of the filly that was trying to trade the pen, telling her she ain't seen nothing and that she's serious. Or is she? But no, she's really serious. She can never tell. Twilight then tries to convince Pinky to go out and trade with the stuff that she brought, but it turns out she didn't bring anything, and because she just wanted to watch the other ponies. And therefore, she's going to stick around and help Twilight trade her books. Head back over to Rainbow Dash and Fluttershy, and they've just finished gluing and taping back together the chalice to take it to the antique chicken dealer. He takes the trade and promptly smashes the chalice for a mosaic that he's making. It's of a chicken.
Mm-hmm. Smooth.
Rainbow Dash didn't ask what type of chicken the lampstand owner wanted, so she rushes back over while Fluttershy stands guard.
Which I find it silly. Just take any chicken, like, ah ha ha, you didn't specify.
She does it pretty poorly. Rainbow Dash comes back to scare off people who are trying to take potentially the one that they need, and Fluttershy goes to find out what he wants. Jump over to Rarity and Applejack, and they're now arguing over who's the better friend, trying to hand over the whole stash, but neither of them will take it. We see Rainbow Dash and Fluttershy taking the chicken statue back to the lampstand, and the pony that's running it is now on break. And they fly off to find him. Lots of moving around, lots of jumping back and forth between all of the ponies. Over to Twilight and Pinky. Pinky's selling the crowd hard that that the books she has to trade are what made Twilight a princess. Everyone wants the book, but Twilight's feeling kind of uncomfortable overselling the things. Pinky keeps selling the crowd pretty hard, and then we jump back over to Rainbow Dash and Fluttershy. They find the guy at the lampstand, but he won't open the stand because he's hungry. They're in a hurry because the trade ends at sundown, so Rainbow Dash and and Fluttershy take over the stand and start pumping out food to get to the pony while he is in line faster. Mm-hmm. In no time at all, they have the lamp, and then they have the Orthros. Back over to Rarity and AJ, and they're still fighting over who should get what they want. Dumbly.
Yep, even though it's going to be ending soon.
Yep. Rainbow Dash and Fluttershy try to get back to the stand, and they're blocked by the crowd. And Fluttershy uses her bear whistle to clear the crowd, and she drops it. But she says, it's all for the good of what Rainbow Dash wants. They finally get back to the stand, go through their whole journey, and only to find that the stand owner doesn't want the Orthros anymore. On the count of she saw it over at the other stand and that it was crazy.
Yep.
She agrees to give the book if Fluttershy will come with them to train the Orthros. Supposedly is going to take a long time, and Fluttershy will be gone for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Rainbow Dash agrees on her behalf somehow, and instantly regrets it. Back over to Pinkie Pie. Turns out she's oversold the books, putting them up to be too valuable. Turns out Twi doesn't want to trade them anymore because they're all special to her. Rainbow Dash rushes in to get Twi to reverse her trade, but after going over the facts, it turns out it was fair because Rainbow Dash and the other pony agreed that they wanted the trade. And Twi's hooves are tied, as she puts it. Rainbow Dash relents that she got caught up in wanting the book and that nothing is more valuable than a friend. So the other pony, relents as well. And yeah, that's the end of the episode. They get Fluttershy back. They trade the Orthros for a bird whistle.
They trade a living dog for a whistle.
Yep. And
What a fetch.
back on the train, Rarity and AJ each got something for each other. A not so good pie tin and another pin. And Twilight gives Rainbow Dash a paperback copy of the book that she was looking for. So that ends that episode.
And somehow Spike is happy with the paperback copy.
Yep.
Even though he was looking for a specific one.
Yep.
Even though he probably already has a paperback copy of that book.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okie dokie. Speaking of Spike. Speaking
What's Spike do now?
Speaking of Spike.
Dun dun dun.
We're going to go to Inspiration Manifestation.
And how many other words end with Asian?
Asian? Not many in the title, as it seems.
Nation. Manifestation, inspiration, nation.
True.
Spoilers.
So we are in Ponyville, and it's about time for the Foal and Philly Fair. Of course, with Pinkie Pie announcing the start of said fair.
Mm-hmm.
Then we head over to Rarity, who's making a puppet theater for said fair. Spike is there to lend a hand and is ultimately useless by just sitting there and praising her every detail. They go to deliver the puppet theater, but the customer hates it because it doesn't travel and there are no room for puppets. Two things a traveling puppet theater need, I would think. Rarity is stunned and full of despair over this. Spike assures her, falsely, that she was not in the wrong and that she can still contribute to the fair. She thinks that she's lost all of her inspiration as she piles ice cream into her face while she cries. Spike then, for some reason, it's not really explained why, runs to the old castle with Owlicious to look for a book to help Rarity. He's having no luck until he stumbles onto a book covered in spikes behind a locked door. He walks in, he burns the lock off of the door, walks in, grabs the book, quote, says, why shouldn't I use it if it was so easy for me to get? Then walks back as the floor gives way underneath of him. The title of the book turns out to be Inspiration Manifestation.
Nation.
And the spell inside of it instantly brings ideas to life. Which seems like a great idea. Spike heads back to Rarity, and we see that she's eaten, and I've counted, 12 quarts of ice cream while he was gone.
You counted?
I counted all of the ice cream. 12 quarts.
You never eaten 12 quarts?
I've never eaten 12 quarts of ice cream in the span of what had to be 2 or 3 hours. So...
Challenge accepted.
I don't think that I could do it.
4 quarts in 3 hours.
So, also, Rarity, her stomach is not distended at all from this. So...
Of course, it's a cartoon. They
Exactly.
never do that.
Well...
Never.
Twilight, in the first episode, after after eating all the apple stuff.
Never do that.
Anyways.
You imagined it.
He explains that he got her something that will help her make something to show off at the fair. She looks at the book, isn't really impressed, but she gives it a try, and as she reads the spell off, it casts a green hue to her magic. She tries it out and transforms the book into a nicer looking book by just thinking of a nicer looking book. She then, of course, transforms her couch.
Of course. I mean, just logical progression there.
Right. So they head off to find the puppeteer and fix up the puppet theater. He's making do at Sugar Cube Corner. They're the double doors there. Rarity shows off the new puppet theater that she's made that now travels and has plenty of room for his puppets. He's amazed at her skills and considers her redeemed, though asks how she was able to fix it so fast. Spike is about to tell him, and she says, "An artist never tells her secrets." We fast forward a little bit, and the fair is finished, and Spike offers to return the book. But Rarity, acting a little bit strange, thinks that maybe she should keep it a bit longer, and Spike, thinking nothing of it, lets her do so, only to talk to her tomorrow. Turns out she's been creating things all night. She even finished her fall line for the next 15 seasons. Barring the fact that styles change and all that stuff. So,
right.
Yeah, whatever.
Like, that's just kind of corrupt, isn't it?
Yeah, just kind of like, whatever.
Of course, fashion might be that way where they plan years in advance and just go, this is totally what's hip right now. Yep, totally.
Isn't fashion, though, kind of based on popular culture?
No, it's just based on what they say it's based on.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, she wants to keep the book longer to help with improving the town, now that she's finished her own work for the next 15 years, I guess. Spike lets it slide while Owlicious kind of looks on disapprovingly. But they head off to help the town anyways. They stumble upon the apples, selling apples from their apple cart.
How many times can you say apple?
No more times.
Not even to say Applejack?
Maybe. Which she improves, quote unquote, from afar, much to everyone's surprise. Once Spike says, "Wow, they'll be pretty surprised at that when you tell them that you improved their cart and offer to improve all the rest of their carts." Rarity then convinces Spike that just because she doesn't have to ask permission because everybody likes surprises, and that he shouldn't tell anyone what they're doing. She then also refers to the book as a person now.
Mm-hmm.
So then they head off, and she ends up giving Rainbow Dash a dress, which Rainbow Dash, is not really, impressed with. She doesn't really want to wear it at all. And we also, as we move on, Spike convinces himself that it's no big deal. It's just a dress. Over at Fluttershy's house, we see her feeding one of her birds, Mr. Robin. Get it? Mr. Robin. Rarity improves the birdhouse by making it huge and extravagant. The bird gets lost inside the birdhouse, even though it walks past a window that it could obviously fly out of.
Yeah,
but, whatever.
Why can't you just go out the window? Like, isn't that how regular birdhouses work? You just go out the window?
Pretty much.
And
But even Fluttershy can't help him out. Rarity seeks praise for her work, and Spike gives it, but is a little bit more reluctant this time. Then all of a sudden, Rarity spots a party and decides to class it up a bit with some turning the Jello into ice sculpture and the party favors into hors d'oeuvres and turning the clown into a waiter. Spike tries to stop her from changing more, but she transforms the mariachi band into a classical ensemble, literally erasing those ponies' existences, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
Way to go. And now there's 2 Octavias, by the way, because,
right,
clone.
Makes sense out of that. Maybe it's just like a teleportation and they were already kind of performing.
I don't know. I like to think that the mariachi band has been erased from existence and the band from Best Night Ever has been cloned.
Of course.
In their place. There's a fanfic for you. Octavia the clone.
I wouldn't want to write it. I don't write those sort of fan fictions.
Wow. You mean good ones?
Exactly. That's actually what I was going to say.
So Picky comes back and is pretty confused about this since she was holding the party and it wasn't supposed to be like a classical type of party. Spike tries to convince Rarity to take a break, but she refuses. She then gives Spike some crystal armor, but he continues to praise her. Twilight then runs up, thinking Spike has been attacked by a mysterious person that's changing things all over Ponyville. He plays it off as something new that he's trying out, and she asks if he's seen anybody suspicious. He says that he hasn't, and Mare runs up to tell Twilight that the gazebo has been turned to crystal, and 2 ponies are trapped inside of it. Twilight heads off to help them. Spike then debates telling everyone that Rarity is behind all the damages, but he thinks that he'll lose her as a friend if he shares their secret. We see Twilight saving the ponies from being trapped in crystal. You know, they must have been in some sort of suspended animation because they aren't like dead of asphyxiation or anything like that.
Yep. Takes them out with magic.
Yep. Magic.
The implications of that just... Ugh.
Yeah.
There's matter inside matter at one point.
And she separates them with magic.
Yeah, it's just...
She's got pretty powerful magic, dude.
But still, that's... Ugh.
Spike then comes up with a plan to get the spell book away from her so she can't use the magic anymore. Turns out, she's turned the ground to gold. You know, not like...
All the yellow gold brick roads.
All of them. All of them are turned to gold.
Follow them all.
Follow them all. He sneaks up on her and tries to take her book, but she does a fast turn, a la Resident Evil style, and notices him. Spike calls out to Owlicious, and Owlicious comes down, distracts Rarity as Spike grabs the book, and eventually swallows it. Which, you know, whatever. Good job. Turns out Rarity wants to start branching out and heading out to other parts of Equestria, and that they should head out on Chariot, soon to be called Rariot. She then makes one out of thin air, much to Spike's surprise, because he figured, oh, the book's gone. She can't use a spell anymore. He then, of course, informs her that the book's gone, and she gets pretty mad, blames him instantly, and it seems like Spike might be short for this world. He, of course, blames Owlicious, and as he's doing that...
Stand-up guy.
Yeah, I know. Stand-up dragon. But as he's doing that, she realizes that she doesn't need it at all, and Spike gets really freaked out. Rarity then goes full-on bonkers and transforms much of the landscape into gold and crystals and all kinds of stuff.
Right.
Spike finally relents and says, hey, you should stop this because all of this is ugly and god-awful. Nothing that she's done has been better, and that he should have told her earlier, but instead he let her become something awful. She snaps out of the magic spell and starts to come to her senses. Turns out the spell was broken when Spike told the truth, going, I didn't write down exactly what the spell said, but at the very end of it, that said pretty much that whoever read the spell would stay the same until the truth was spoken to them. But it also seems that the spell has some sort of self-preservation instinct because it was doing things to keep Rarity away from people who would have just told her the truth from the start.
Yep. Keep it a secret.
Keep it secret.
Keep it safe.
Keep it secret. Keep it safe. Spike explains that what she did to Ponyville, in the end, he told her the truth even though he was afraid that he'd lose her as a friend. She explained that it's always okay to tell the truth to your friends, especially when it's about them, because they're your friends. We switch back to Spike in the library, Twilight coming back home, saying to never ever go to the old castle again without her permission, especially bringing books back. Because I guess Cadence, Luna, and Celestia and herself had to come down and fix all the stuff that Rarity did. And Spike then rewards her with telling her that she doesn't look so good. And the episode ends. So there you go. 2 episodes. What did you think? Which one did you like better?
I think I like Manifestation Nation.
I liked it better.
Nation.
Yeah, I liked it better too.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely invoked feelings of the, what was it?
Worst pony.
No, of the episode where Spike turns into a big hoarding dragon, and it's eventually Rarity that kind of snaps him out of it. This is kind of the opposite, but fitting. So now they're equal, somewhat.
Also, watching Trade Drag just kind of gave me flashbacks to playing bad games.
Fair enough. So do you want to plow through these handfuls of news?
Not even handfuls. We could get it done with in 5 minutes.
Yep. Sounds like a plan.
All right, I'll start the timer.
Starting the timer. See how.
Go.
What if I talk like this?
And then I'll talk really fast and say that the Hub has released the main highlights, which include the rest of the episodes for the season.
What?
What?
That's crazy.
No way.
What?
What?
So does that mean we only have 3 more recaps to do?
Yep. And then we're done with those.
Done with the recaps.
Mm-hmm.
It's craziness.
Yep.
So I guess we'll read some of these things here. Next episode up is Equestria Games. Spike is elated when he's given the honor of lighting the torch to open the Equestria Games, but when his nerves get the best of him, Spike goes to great lengths to prove he's the heroic dragon others believe him to be.
Spoilers.
And then, of course, we have the season finale. It's 2 parts, same day, from 10 to 10:30 and 10:30 to 11. So it's a half hour earlier. Mark your calendars. Twilight's Kingdom, Part 1. When a villain escapes Tartarus, that's the mystical place where all the demons and mystical creatures are. Princess Celestia chooses Discord to help track him down instead of Princess Twilight. Meanwhile, prompted to prove that she has an important role to play, Twilight turns her focus to opening the Tree of Harmony's chest.
Which inside will be Half-Life 3.
Yeah. Twilight's Kingdom Part 2. In order to protect their magic, as well as the fate of Equestria, Princess Celestia, Princess Luna, and Princess Cadence, transfer all of their magical power to Twilight. Bum, 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 bum. Also, the week after, on Friday, May 23rd, they're going to have a little marathon.
Mm-hmm.
In particular, it's a couple episodes from Season 4, mostly The Return of Harmony. Or is that Season 2? I can't remember.
Return of Harmony?
Yeah.
Season 2.
Return of Harmony from Season 2. It's a Valentine's Day marathon.
Valentine's Day already passed, a while ago.
But it's Valentine's Day.
Passed.
So we get a little bit of Discord. We get some Keep
Discord,
Calm.
And then Discord. And then more Discord.
Yep. And then from the preview that we've heard, definitely some more Discord.
Yep. So
it's a Discord-y kind of thing going on.
I'm surprised that they didn't include Encounter at Farpoint. I'd rather watch that than Twilight's Kingdom.
You haven't even seen Twilight's Kingdom yet.
So?
The other thing, the next thing, is we talked about it just a little bit, but there's a new documentary that's out. It's called A Brony Tale. It stars a shield ball and bronies at BronyCon.
I'm surprised they didn't spell it Tail.
And this one seems to have a lot less fanfare around it. It was at Tribeca this year. Looks like it was a winner at Tribeca. And it's been received pretty positively by critics and fans. And there was a little preview trailer, and it says that it takes a very, from the reviewers, it takes a very neutral stance. It says it doesn't just show them, it kind of explains them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so hopefully it's a little bit better than the other one, but we'll maybe finally have something to show people who want to see that kind of thing. So, but yeah, I checked the trailer out. Seemed all right. Seems like something that I'll watch. So, yeah. Good stuff. And then finally, we have a little bit of a convention roundup. Convention roundup.
Anything about BabsCon?
No, BabsCon happened last week.
So, it doesn't mean we can't talk about it.
Oh, I think if you pre-order for the next BabCon, you get a T-shirt. BabsCon 2015.
Okay.
But from what I've heard, BabsCon went pretty well. There was some hubbubaloo about a potential pedophile stalking a child, but it turned out that it was just made-up Twitter drama. Or not Twitter, Tumblr drama.
Tumblr drama.
Yeah,
Blah, 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 blah.
the Tumblr that made the assertion, said, then promptly changed their Tumblr to a Tumblr about Nicolas Cage Photoshop pictures, and many of the artists in the artist alley, as well as the staff, said that nothing like that was reported, nothing like that was seen.
But why would somebody make something like that up?
Because they're dumb.
Oh, okay.
And the con staff and the writers and artists and all those people said that if there was something to actually report, then it should have been reported directly so that the police could have been called. Because supposedly this 4-year-old girl that was being stalked asked them not to report this to the authorities. So yeah, it's all pretty dumb. I would say that none of it was real until we can prove otherwise, until this little girl comes forward potentially. Which I have a feeling that there was no little girl. Well, there was probably little girls all over the place, but this one doesn't exist. So, but we will head back to our news here.
Mm-hmm.
So, BronyCon Expo says that Michael Dagnerfield is going to be at Brony Expo. He's doing a 2-hour class for voice acting.
Are you gonna take it? Do you need training?
Nope. I'm not even going to be there. Not even going to be there. And then, of course, TrotCon. They have announced their musicians. Eurobeat Brony, Cyril the Wolf, Seventh Element, Additive, Additive Subtractive, Aftermath, Aoshi, Changeling, DJ Garnica, yeah. DJ Lupo B, DJ Tetsuo, Green Tinted Goggles, Jeff Burgess and the Bad Mares. Jeff Burgess is from my hometown.
Do you know Jeff Burgess?
I do. Knife Pony, Lizard Rock, Mogul Dash, Philly Foo, Pony Firestone, Purity 36.0, S'mores, Sonic Breakbeat, Survivors of the Siege, The Shakeups in Ponyville, and finally, Your Enigma.
What do you have against Next Gen?
Man.
You skipped over Next Gen.
I did?
You did.
I don't see them.
It's right after Mogul Dash. Before Philly Foo.
They're not on... What? You're lying to me.
No, I'm not. Next Gen on this list.
Bruh.
I will take screenshots of this.
But I went to the TrotCon website, and that's Next Gen isn't on the TrotCon website.
It's on the article you linked me.
Okay, well then Next Gen.
Okay.
Because I hate them, I guess.
I guess.
Also, they announced their panels. You can head over their site, trotcon.net. There's a bunch of panels and stuff. So, Japan PonyCon has announced Ellie Monty in a Skype appearance. LunaFest announced Acoustic Brony for one of their musical guests. And Brony Scott is announcing a sponsorship. In Mareplay UK. What? I'm confused. What even is this?
Yeah.
Their Mareplay UK, the largest retailer of My Little Pony merchandise, is officially sponsoring Brony Scott. That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
So there you go. Biggest in the UK, I guess. But yeah, convention roundup.
All right.
And that's it. Unless you have some other news. Do you have anything else to add?
No, I think that's it.
Sweet. So you pumped for the ending of season 4? We're fast approaching.
Totally. We can finally stop talking about it.
What? Do you not want to talk about season 4 no more?
Nah. And then we can just fill the 30 minutes by just talking about our week.
Yeah.
The show must go on even if we have no content.
That's right.
Yeah.
maybe it'll be time for evolution.
Dun 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 dun.
Evolution.
Dun 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 dun.
All right, but that brings us to the end of this week. Thank you for joining us.
Have a good day.